What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I do know it's been a bit, and I'm actually just behind on making videos, so I have some catching up to do. Now, this is the workout from March 11th, so a couple days ago, and it was Squat and Deadlift Day. I got to the gym, and what I wanted to do was bypass the cardio warm-up and just go right into the exercises. Now, as a result, I changed the warm-up for squats just a little bit differently, did a little bit more volume than usual just to get myself prepared for working sets. So basically what I did was a set of 10 with 135, a set of 8 with 185, a set of 6 with 225, and now you're seeing a 10 by 3 with 255 pounds. I'm sticking to the 90 seconds of rest in between sets, and it was a good squat day. I was pretty much locked in and just wanted to get all the reps done, so I'm not doing too much in the way of pause work, but I am putting a stoppage. With certain reps, you'll see a longer pause at the bottom, so there will be some paused reps. It's just that I wasn't overly concerned with pausing. Not too much, at least. Just wanted to get some in there just to make sure that I included at least a number of them, several of them actually, but I wasn't terribly concerned with doing a lot of paused work, but definitely a stoppage at the bottom as usual so that you can always count on. And then with some reps, especially since I'm doing 30 working reps, and so the volume's down, the weight's up a little bit, and basically I just went up 5% on both lifts. So now going back down to triples, I just added 5%. It's really, you can go between 4 and 5%, whichever comes up with an even number. And so I went with 5%, 255, not a difficult weight for me. And this is about, I would say at this point would be about midway through. So I'll definitely get up to at least 275, somewhat closer to 315 than I typically have in the past. And I think one time I went up to 295. If I remember correctly. But this time around, I'm really just getting in not only the practice, but also reinvesting my time in some of the lifts, and especially some of the variations of the lifts. So with the back squat, still going with a high bar, but it's nice to put this on its own day with the deadlift afterwards and not have to worry too much about accessory work. So, and by the way, I didn't do any accessory work. I was on a bit of a time crunch and had a limited amount of time to work out, but I also got there a little bit later than I wanted to. So while I would have liked to have included accessory work, I just don't think I just ran out of time, really, is what it comes down to it. But next time I probably will. And I did do, well, spoiler alert, I did do an extra set of deadlifts, so not that that really counts for a whole lot, but it's something, and I'll get to that later. But all in all, squats, good stuff here, and everything feels comfortable. I'm happy, of course, with that depth. That is the kind of depth I like to go to for my squat as long as I'm able to. It's only really in the higher percentages where I go more towards parallel. But at the very least, I really try my absolute best, even if I am going for 90% plus of my 1 rep max, to at least get my hips a little bit below my knees. If they get completely even with the knees, with a 90-degree bend in the knees, then I'm okay. But I do my absolute best to get my hips just a little bit below to ensure that it's proper, and also for just quality control so that I'm not allowing myself to cut the movement short if I can really help it. Of course, in the past when I've gone for new 1 rep maxes, there have been times where I did cut it a little short, and that just goes along with trying to get into new territory with weights, and there are certain marks and places along the way where that will happen. Not that you're trying to, or not that you think that it's a good thing. It's just that it will naturally come out when you start to max out, especially if you're starting to get burned out by a program or just need to give yourself a break or a deload. It can happen to everybody, literally. So here we got Sumo Deadlift, and what I did for that was just the same as usual. I only did the extra work for the squat since it was the opening exercise. And so for deadlift, it was the same as always. Set of 5 with 225, set of 4 with 275. I did include a triple with 315 before getting to working sets. And for the working weight, we have 355, so a 5% increase, and of course going down a little bit in volume, so 30 total working reps. Now, you did see that jump from second to fourth set. The reason for that is because when I went to record the third set, I had a feeling that I did something wrong as I was doing the set, and sure enough, it wasn't even recording while I was doing the set, so I double tapped the record button so it actually stopped right away. It didn't even record anything, so that's on me, but I did do that third set. And so here we're about a little less than halfway through, and keeping with the 90 seconds of rest in between sets, I definitely want to give a shout out to that woman in the background. She was doing a really great workout, and it was very motivational. It really was. And so as a result, I did an extra set of deadlift. I wasn't planning on doing that. I kind of already had it in my mind that I wouldn't have enough time to do any accessory work, and I was okay with that. Of all days, the squat and deadlift day is the one where I would be okay with not having accessories if it comes down to it. Now, I'm not trying to do it that way, but if I have to cut something short and not do accessory work, it would be on this day, because my legs are getting plenty of activation through squatting and deadlifting, especially with that kind of volume. Even though I'm not going very heavy, the volume and the pace make up for it. So deadlifts, all in all, pretty good. As you see the sets progress, I am slowing down the tempo a bit. Honestly, that was just for fun. This is not something that I was purposely doing, but I did it intentionally during it, but I didn't plan for it, and it was just to do it. if anything else, it was just to show the control that I could. So nothing's being dropped, of course, and as we get into the higher sets, I'll slow it down even more just to do it. I'm not going to tell you that I'm getting a whole ton of benefit by doing that. I just did it for the fun of it, and really that's it. So that kind of tempo coming down, although something it does offer is constant awareness of bar path. So if you are starting to go for speed pulls and you don't realize that the bar might be rolling forward a little bit, maybe a little bit backwards a little bit, might be having a little bit of a shift, slowing down that eccentric can actually help make sure that your bar path is correct. And it's a nice, easy way to figure it out if something's going wrong. And so that's pretty much the workout. All in all, squats, deadlifts, and then after that I went to teach a martial arts lesson, so that's why I was kind of in a hurry. As soon as I did the extra set of deadlift, then I had to go. I did make it on time barely, but I knew for a fact that there was no room for anything else afterwards. So I'm glad I did the extra set of deadlifts. Again, it was primarily inspired by the woman in the background, so thanks to her, she gave me that jolt that I really needed, because throughout squats I was just getting the work done, and that's not a bad thing, but during deadlifts I just got that nice bit of added focus and energy. So good stuff. I will probably get to the other workouts either today and or tomorrow. I'm hoping to get caught up by then before I start a new round of training, but we will see. I had some problems with the backing up of videos. A couple of them disappeared. Thankfully, they were just accessory videos, and so I've had just some issues to work around, and so I should be able to get most of that figured out soon. And of course, here's the bonus set. Alright, y'all, thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Have a great weekend. It's Catterday, and remember, adopt, don't chop.